Welcome to our Wednesday posting. This is the last in the long series of almost 50 videos that have comprised this glossary. And actually, they do summarize the ideas in the book. So, possibly fittingly, the last one is Withness, the last of the W's. Withness. I'll read it from the book. Withness, because being itself is social, the psycho-spiritual or social spiritual field on which it unfolds always possesses the quality of withness as a felt measure of social presence. Even when we are most withdrawn into ourselves and therefore most absent and scattered into the false self, our relations with every other, with each other, carry whatever residual presence and withness that they have, in the sense that we always remain in present relation to each other, even when we feel most compelled to deny that presence. In moments of true mutual recognition, our sense of withness is most palpable and most fully embodied. So this is really, in a way, it's a central idea of the book, that we are all social beings. And that doesn't mean we are all individuals who then come into interaction with each other. It means we are already social, always. From the origin of our being, we are social. When a baby is born, the baby soon seeks eye contact, but immediately needs to be held and completed through holding, through the touch that completes the being of the newborn in the social relation that is what it means to be a person. So that a baby that is not held will fail to thrive. That's the expression, may die from failure to thrive. So we're social in our very nature. If you think of yourself out in the world, you're at a party and everyone's talking, or let's make it a cocktail party, and everyone's chatting and having a conversation, enwrapped in their own personae. Of course, there's always a connection to the other, but you may be engaged in fairly artificial conversation. Beneath that artificial conversation actually is the longing to be released from whatever is artificial, so that you can come into the presence of the other more fully and more wholly, and realize the withness that we are. It's possible to sit with a person in a room, to sit quietly, to not talk, but be aware of each other, and to intentionally enter into each other's presence in a way that you weren't quite before when you were talking. when I was young, I took peyote with some people, and to talk about this a little bit in the book. And I was at a racetrack because we thought it'd be really fun to be high at the races. It turned out to be terrifying to be high at the races because the level of alienation, rooting for the horse to win, everybody looking like that, was so horrifying and frightening that we had to leave immediately. And we went back to, there were three of us, went back to my apartment, and we put on classical music. Bach was playing. And as soon as that music came on, we all started crying. We all felt linked by the spiritual elevation of the sound, the incredible beauty of it. We felt it at once. In other words, we didn't each feel it, we all felt it at once. We entered into that. And then, because it was the radio that we were listening to, the voice of the announcer came on to make some station break announcement. And we were, in a way, shocked and even appalled by the sound of the human voice in a monotone. When we had been in the midst of this spiritually enlivening community of care, of open-heartedness with one another. So, to return to that cocktail party example, we can be lost in our heads. We can be rehearsing future encounters. We can be reliving past encounters in our own minds. These are all social experiences of the past that somehow are lacking for our ego or personality, that we are worrying about in our conditioned selves. Even then, we are always with others. We're with the ones we're imagining, and in the room that we are in, we are with everyone else who's in that room as a net or field or ground that is the ground of the withness that we always have with one another. So, the book is about the fact that when we can fully recognize each other and fully enter into each other's presence, we can realize the core desire that's within all of us for mutual recognition of our presence, for that mutuality. And it's possible to build a whole world in which that mutuality would be realized, because it is the desire of everyone to realize it. Because beneath the anger, the posturing, the worry, the everything, beneath everything that colors our social conditioning up to this point, there is a longing to be in the presence of the other. And what the book is about is the fear of the other, and that the other won't be there for us, that leads us to, of necessity, co-participate in all of the performances of life. And the book is about the desire to transcend that and bring about a world in which the longing that is within our hearts to enter into one another's presence would be realized in ways of working, ways of living, ways of co-creating the earth. It seems hopeful that because this is what is in everyone's hearts, this is what will happen eventually. This is the evolution of the human spirit through the legacy of fear that we have inherited from tens of thousands of years, fear of the other. We are gradually transcending that toward creating the space where we can be co-present as we really are, recognize what we already really are, co-present with one another, longing for each other's recognition. Okay. Let's end with this beautiful portrait by the photographer Robert Bergman. See if you can feel the presence of the woman in red.